My mother used to be a teacher, and for detention she'd make the students write out lines. Unfortunately, just because she was my mum, didn't mean I avoided any of these detentions. Her favourite line was, "A smooth sea never made a skillful mariner." My sister Fee loves singing, and when she's not singing, she loves to sail with her boyfriend Andrew.
I first went to the doctor after, I noticed that my fingers had been swollen for months. They were getting more swollen and more sore. They were very tender to touch. But when I did go to the doctor, he began to ask me more questions. Is your hair falling out? Are you getting very tired? Are the joints aching? And I was able to answer yes to all of those questions, which is what prompted him to do blood tests. Technically speaking, lupus is described as an autoimmune illness. It's when your immune system goes into overdrive and it attacks body organs. But it also has an arthritic sort of effect in that your joints get swollen and very sore. Before I was diagnosed with lupus, I had finished a degree at the Conservatorium of Music. I had just finished it. I was working to save money to further my study overseas, and I was studying Italian and performing at the time in studio opera. I was really actively looking to pursue a performance career, and I was doing everything I could to ensure that. I knew it was serious, but I didn't know that much about it. I wasn't quite sure of the implications. And I certainly didn't know that I would have it for the rest of my life. I didn't know it was chronic. When Mum and I first saw the specialist together, the question for us was, will I be able to continue singing? How will it affect my singing if it does? And he quite blatantly said, "Oh, well, you can forget about a singing career. You'll never sing."
I think at the root of the problem is that there's so little known about the disease. We were all kind of thrown into space and told to carry on with our lives, but no one explained how to breathe without oxygen. This is my mama. There's no doubt that Fee's love for the arts began with her.
I knew Fee wanted to perform. I knew she loved her singing, and she used to just live for performing. I could see that it was tiring her out. We had no idea, of course, that it was this condition that was developing in her system. And then to see her in pain, not being able to do the things that she wanted to do, and she was so young. I cried a lot, and I'm glad I did now, because it's given me the opportunity to stand aside and be more objective now. To see her so distressed and frustrated when she tries to achieve the goals that she sets for herself, and to see her crumbling in making the effort, in realising that probably she's aiming too high, and yet I think, look, she's alive.
This is my pa. He's had to spend a lot of his time working away from home.
Well, it doesn't feel very pleasant at all to have to see your own child in a lot of pain through something that you're either unable to help with or able to get help for. It's rather sad when you see your own child in a lot of pain and you just can't do anything about it. Well, we had to cope, I guess, for Fee's sake, but it's very distressing when you know your child has a possible life-threatening disease or illness or whatever you want to term it, and to try and find some way to either manage or eradicate it completely. Lupus has terminated Fee's singing career at the moment, but in a few years' time, maybe with drugs or another management plan, that she could go back to singing. But at the moment, it's not very attractive to an employer when you can't hold down full-time work. 1 or 2 days a week is not much value to most employers, so hopefully something can be found to manage this disease or illness so she can get back to permanent employment.
This is our younger brother, Rob. He'll never say 3 words if 2 will do.
I don't think knowing that my sister has lupus has affected our relationship in any way. I don't think it was really hard for me to come to grips with it. She handled it very well, and I think from the way that she's handled it, we've all just gone from there and supported her. Now that we know that she's got it, it's made it a lot easier. We know why she feels the way she does, why it's hard for her to do certain things, and now we can cater for that, and we've got a bit more of an understanding about the illness. What do I hate about lupus? I think just the fact that Fiona's got it and that it is an incurable illness.
I'd seen Fee in so much physical pain and so discouraged after a performance that I wanted her to shut the door and lock it. I guess I'd overlooked the fact that music had been her life and her passion. If that was taken away, what reason did she have to get up of a morning? This is Fee's boyfriend, Andrew. He was the one that introduced us to sailing.
When Fiona first told me about lupus, I was a bit sceptical at first. A bit worried about how it was going to affect our relationship. But it's really made our relationship a lot stronger because with the ups and downs of lupus, it's made our relationship a lot stronger in a shorter amount of time. The hardest symptom with lupus is the uncertainty, the ups and downs. One day can be good, and the next, Fiona can be bedridden. You really have to go with the flow. If Fiona's feeling up to, say, go sailing or go for a ride on the horses up at the farm, if she's feeling up to it, then we do it. Because the next day she may not feel quite up to it, and then we just have to take it easy that day. So we just have to take each opportunity as it arises. My ambitions have become stronger now that Fiona's a part of my life, and I want to make her as comfortable as possible and achieve as much as we can. Hopefully we've been through the worst with lupus. They say that the first 2 years are the worst, but I'll always be there to support her anyway. So.
The past year and a half have been rough for Fee. She had to come to terms with lupus herself so that she could help us to help her. Fee rarely received detentions at school, but she's turned Ma's theory that a smooth sea never made a skillful mariner into a reality.
Singing at the cathedral is wonderful. I sing in a group called the Scholar, and I do that every Sunday. I've accepted that maybe I'm not meant to have a career in performance or singing, but I'm really fortunate in that I'm able to sing at Scholar. I'm really happy doing that. As far as the future is concerned, I would just like to let happen what is meant to happen, and not like it was just so devastating before when I had this vision and this plan and then it was gone. So I just want to work towards something, i.e. getting my speech pathology degree, but not put so much store in it that if it doesn't happen, then I'll be devastated again and crash again. I just want to really concentrate on my family and Andrew and just living life the best way I can, and whatever's going to happen in the future will happen, and maybe one day I might sing again and maybe I won't.